I have some pretty drastic thoughts on Pluribus right now.
Really?
I've taken a turn on the show.
Okay, I'm excited here. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I was
I'm not going to say anything else. I just want to give. There's the plug for stick around and listen to the show.
Hello and welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that's perfectly balanced as all things should be. My name is Isaac Edlin. I am your host tonight, and I have one other Infinity Bro with me. It is the prodigal son of the Infinity Bros, the portal master of the Infinity Bros, Max Mosier. How you doing, Max?
I'm well. I hate both of those nicknames. The prodigal son I'm cool with. I guess I shouldn't say I hate both of them. I enjoy the prodigal son. I despise Portal Master. Don't like it. If this is your first time listening to the show,
it's definitely going to be a staple of the Infinity Bros. Since you
here's the thing, and if this is your first time listening, inside jokes don't work for podcasting. The TLDR is I somehow have been to 2 different weddings in the course of a month that both had quote unquote portals in them.
If you want to hear the full story, you can actually listen to episode 237 of the Infinity Bros podcast because we go into a little bit more detail on that episode. So there you go.
I'm so proud of you for having the plug of which episode we've gone in. And I know like it's recent enough that like I'm just proud of you for like as a host for you to have that ready to go. I don't know many hosts doing what we're doing right now that are putting the effort and time you are.
Referencing previous episodes of the podcast. I mean, come on. That's good stuff right there.
That's true.
And, when we have good stuff like we do on the Infinity Bros podcast, it's good to be able to reference that. And, it'll be in the show notes. So there you go. You can go listen to it right now. Actually, you probably want to listen to this because you're probably here for Stranger Things, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, or Pluribus, which we're also going to talk about. But we have a few things that we got to discuss first. First of all, if you haven't listened to the Infinity Bros, welcome. We are a pop culture show, 6 guys, rotating cast. We kind of just talk about whatever we feel like is on our hearts and our minds in the pop culture world. That is Stranger Things recently. I've been on a Stranger Things like social media binge. I've been using Threads a lot lately. I don't know if you've been into Threads at all, Max, but it's like a nicer, cleaner version of Twitter, basically, in my opinion. It's definitely not quite as popular as Twitter, and that's okay. But my Threads timeline has been like 100% Stranger Things for the past 2 weeks, and I've been just eating it up. I've been absolutely loving it. So
yeah, what I liked about Threads, and I think that's probably just my algorithm, is it gives me the best content on theories with all the shows and movies I like.
Yes.
Like I feel like Threads, because of the feature of like the disappearing font, they just got something figured out there, man. They have struck gold with that feature in comparison to X.
I'm totally with you, and they've been just churning out the Stranger Things theories on my timeline, so I'm here for it. I can't wait. But I do have one piece of nerd news that I want to talk about, so let's get into that.
Hey Zane, I was looking into getting into this Gunpla thing. There's one called the Unicorn Banshee. What the heck is that all about? Actually, Jarrett, what you're thinking of is RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 2 Banshee, which is from the Mobile Suit Gundam. Actually, you know what? It's time for nerd news.
One thing that I have to talk about, since we're basically a Nicolas Cage podcast at this point, is that they announced that Spider-Noir, or Spider-Noir is what the show is actually going to be called, is coming out next year, I believe late 2026. They didn't announce a date, but they released a poster for it. So we've gotten a first look. We kind of got like a little teaser trailer a couple months ago. This poster that they released for it has a door and it says B. Riley, private investigator, and then Spider-Noir coming. It's going to be on Prime, which I thought it was going to be MGM Plus, but they're putting it on Prime as well. So that'll be nice. One interesting aspect to that is that Spider-Man Noir in the comics and in the Into the Spider-Verse movie is Peter Parker. They're pulling a switcheroo to Ben Reilly, and I'm not really sure why. For those of you guys who don't know, Ben Reilly is the clone of Peter Parker in the comics, and he's Scarlet Spider for a long time. He eventually becomes Spider-Man for a while. But yeah, I'm not really sure what angle they're pulling with that. I mean, I already was 100% in on all of this. So, doesn't make a difference for me. What do you think of Ben Reilly versus Peter Parker in the show, Max?
Well, that was my question I was going to ask you was, do you think this ends in a Ben Reilly clone situation, kind of like how the animated series did it? Where this was in the 90s, right? This is so niche,
Right.
but in the 90s, you had this Ben Reilly arc where he's a clone in their little Spider-Verse they had. He realizes he's actually the real Peter Parker, and the one that thought he was the real Peter Parker is the clone. Kind of confusing. But the reason that story matches up so well is because Mary Jane in the cartoon series was a clone. You remember, she gets married to Peter Parker and then she dies. Could that be kind of a backdoor to something like that? Are they going to kind of follow that route? I think a lot of 90s kids like us would be familiar with that story. I think that'd be interesting. And I think that'd be an interesting way to go about it. Or it'd be cool to have Peter Parker actually in this universe, maybe in the late of the season. And it's like, you could go with a lot of different people for that. You could go with Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland. You could go a couple different people, right? Like I don't know. I don't know if I don't know how the rules are with that, but right. I'm sure there's rationale for that. So yeah.
I think personally, I don't think they're gonna do too much clone stuff in this, because this is set in like the 1930s. So I feel like technology just isn't there yet, and it would be. I mean, it is like, even especially the 90s stuff, it's all very convoluted, and it's easy to get lost even if you're like watching that whole show or reading the comics or whatever. I'm like, okay, the clone thinks he's the real Spider-Man, the real Spider-Man thinks he's the clone, and then they eventually finally figured it out and like swap, and like there's a lot of stuff that gets just convoluted, and I just don't know if they need that with a brand new show. So part of me just thinks that they're just using it as like an alias or the character's name just for funsies, to give them kind of like its original origin story.
Well, you're a big Nicolas Cage fan, though, Isaac. And
I am. Well, here's the thing.
Convoluted in his storytelling. It's Nicolas Cage. Come on now.
Nicolas Cage is going to be fantastic no matter what. I don't even care. It's going to be amazing. But the thing I would say, if they do that and kind of just make it its own character, I would like to see a Peter Parker character show up at some point in the show. Unless he actually is Peter Parker, he's using Ben Reilly as an alias or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what
I'm going to be bold right out the gate, because I will watch this. I'm going to be bold right out the gate. I believe Peter Parker will show up. I was joking around about the Maguire thing. I think it will be a new actor.
That would be sick.
I think it'll be a young actor, but I think it'll be a famous actor. I think it'll be someone famous, so it's like be fun to do. They're going to do it in this setting and yada yada yada. I do think he'll show up.
I think you're right though, because Ben Reilly, Nicolas Cage in this show is Nicolas Cage, who is, gosh, he's like 65, 60, somewhere in there. He's a little older. He's going to be a like older, grizzled detective type private investigator Spider-Man Noir. So I feel like if you do a Peter Parker, he's got to be a young guy to kind of like learn the ropes from Ben Reilly potentially, and then like take over somehow. I'm not really sure how that all plays out, but like I think you're right though. He's got to be a younger guy. So
you got to have a big twist at the end that gets the audience back for season 2. It just makes sense that Peter Parker's in it.
Big time. But yeah, I mean, the whole aesthetic of that poster, the whole aesthetic of the teaser trailer that we got a couple months ago, I absolutely love it. Nicolas Cage as a grizzled old private investigator, and Spider-Man, that's literally my dream. You couldn't ask for anything more for a series for me, so I'm 100% in. We will be doing weekly reviews of that show when it pops up later next year. So there you go. All right, that's my nerd news for the day, and now I've got 2 big shows to talk about. So I was thinking, let's just dive right in.
I'm all in. Let's go.
All right, so we're talking Pluribus, we're talking Stranger Things. We do have a special rating system on the Infinity Bros that I'm going to plug right here.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible, and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an Infinity step.
So we rated things on the Patreon. We had a couple movies that we talked about. You can go check those out on the show notes. But yeah, we use that special rating system to kind of just distinguish ourselves a little bit from everybody else using the normal, boring 10-point or 5-point rating scales. So 2 shows that we're going to talk about, Pluribus and Stranger Things. We're going to talk Pluribus first because I feel like we're going to be talking quite a bit about Stranger Things. So Pluribus show on Apple TV Plus. We have a review episode on 237 of the Infinity Bros podcast of the premiere episodes 1 and 2. There are currently 5 episodes out, so 3, 4, 5. We're going to be talking about a little bit more in depth today and just the whole show in general. But if you want to go back and listen to that, that will also be in the show notes. But it's a show about a alien virus that takes over the world, and there are 12 people that are immune to it, and the virus makes people happy. So you've got 13 unhappy people, and that is the premise of the show Pluribus.
Do you think it's aliens? Do you really think it's aliens?
I don't know. I don't know what it is at this point.
Okay, all right. I don't know if that's an easy sell is what I'm saying. I don't know. I think it's too ambiguous.
Okay, here's the IMDb synopsis. In a world overtaken by a mysterious wave of forced happiness, Carol Sturka, one of the few immune, must uncover what's really going on and save humanity from its own bliss. So there you go. That's a more succinct description, I guess. Or what they want you to think. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, they're out here playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers.
Yep. So anyways, non-spoiler stuff. We'll get into spoilers in a bit here, but we talked a lot on the first review episode that we did about those first 2 episodes. What has changed since then, Max? Do you feel like you're still as pumped about it so far through episodes 3, 4, 5? How do you feel about it so far?
Yeah, episodes 1 and 2, I was on the record of calling you and other Infinity Bros and saying, guys, it's time to get on the bandwagon. This show's great. I gave both those episodes. I gave episode 1 a 6 out of 6. I think you gave episode 2 like a 5.8, 5.5 out of 6. I'd stay in that range. And I've been pretty disappointed at the pacing of episodes 3 to 5. I do understand that is the storytelling way of Vince Gilligan. I do recognize in a show like this, it's not going to have a lot of dialogue and moving pieces in terms of individuals. It's a hive mind and a few other people that aren't the hive mind. I do think this is still a show worth watching. If you have not ever watched Pluribus, I think this is a show worth picking up. The idea alone is worth your time. Vince Gilligan and his background is worth investing in. I do think episode 1 is one of the coolest pilots I've ever seen. It'll be interesting long term to see how I look at this. Rhea Seehorn is tremendous as Carol in this. I mean, she's hitting it home run every episode. Not her problem. I think Carolina Wydra is also a wonderful actress in this and is just doing some great stuff because they have to carry a lot. Both of these women have to carry a lot in this movie or this show, excuse me. But I think the pacing is slow, and that's my warning to the audience from episodes 3 to 5. I think it's a really slow pacing. And I do see a future where we solve something, the cliffhanger at the end of episode 5, obviously. I think we'll try to talk about a little bit about what that could be. But yeah, I'm at about a 4.5 out of 6. I'll go 4.25 out of 6. I trust the process. I just don't think the episodes have been as nearly the standard that episode 1 was. And to be transparent, Breaking Bad has a high standard. And every episode in Breaking Bad has a lot of slow pacing, but moving parts. I feel like I hope to see that on the back end of this show. So that's where I'm sitting right now with it.
Yeah.
But cautiously optimistic still.
I would 100% agree with pretty much everything you said. I was a little disappointed with the pacing of 3, 4, and I would even say half of 5. Like 5 has been good, but really what got me interested again, like 3, 4, still invested. Like, it's still solid storytelling. It's still good. But the thing about Breaking Bad, like you mentioned, and even Better Call Saul too, both of those shows, they have just a better fleshed out storyline, I feel like. And it gets you more invested in those shows. Like every episode, Breaking Bad, I don't think Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, there was an episode that I was like, this is boring. Like I'm not invested in this right now. And I almost got to that point with Pluribus. Almost there. But the cliffhanger at the end of episode 5 got me really excited. I'm back on board again. I do think we have something here. I think you're right, though. There is a pacing issue. And part of that is we didn't know this was even a thing until it came out, right? Like there wasn't like this huge buildup of like, oh, Vince Gilligan, like he's going to be the best show ever or anything like that. You watched the episodes and were like, hey guys, like this is great. Like you should go watch it. So we kind of all had this expectation of like, this is going to be a really good show start to finish, because who knows how long it's going to be. I mean, it's on Apple TV Plus, but it's not like they've came out and said there's going to be 5 seasons or whatever. Like, so after getting those slower episodes in 3 and 4, I was like, okay, so we talked a little bit in episode 237, our review of the premieres, of like, where is this going? Are we going to have 2 seasons of Carol discovering more about this alien virus?
We could have gotten this episode 5 in particular. Episode 5 is a 2 out of 6, in my opinion. I think that was a waste of an episode. It could have been told in 30 minutes. It wasted 20 minutes of my life.
Dang. Okay, strong opinion.
Yeah, because like, again, I'm not talking spoilers. I'm just saying, if we could talk spoilers, there's 3 things that happen in that episode. It could have been told in 20 minutes.
Okay, well, here we go. Let's get into spoilers. Here's your official spoiler warning for episodes 3, 4, 5 of Pluribus.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
Yeah, episode 5, I think, was a miss. And the milk thing was cool, right? That's your first reveal. The second reveal is, which I thought that was cool. It was a unique, okay, they need something to keep going, right? The second reveal was they all left. And then the third reveal was the body. Or whatever is in the thing. I'm assuming it's a body. That's what I'm assuming.
It's got to be some kind of human remains or something.
Yeah, it's something like that, or it's
something like that.
She doesn't have that reaction if she doesn't know what it is, right? It's got to be a carcass.
Yeah.
So maybe it's animals, right? Maybe it's like, yeah, I don't know.
No, it's got to be humans. Like I don't know why she would get so freaked out of it. Like she's pretty hardened. I feel like
totally.
I feel like it's got to be human remains.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what else it would be. That would
honestly,
like
I think it could have been told in 30 minutes. Huge miss on that episode.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. And honestly, the other episodes could have too.
Grenade was also slow pacing. Grenade was 3.5. Episode 4 was good. I liked episode 4 because of the Please Carol. I liked the introduction of the new character and like seeing what he was doing. But again, his pacing is so slow too, right? And Vince is clearly setting up something. And I think the Please Carol ending was like, whoa, okay, what's happening here? I was
that was a
build up to something. I just think if you're gonna do long episodes where you do these buildups, you got to give me a payoff that episode. Mm-hmm. That's the episode you got to give me a payoff in.
That's fair. I think that is fair.
I think that it's unacceptable as a viewer, and so I'm disappointed in that. Again, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm super critical because this is like Breaking Bad. They did all this. They were able to do.
Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are both over 60 episodes.
And they're slow pacing. They're very slow pacing shows.
Right. And here's the thing though. This, even though we knew nothing about it beforehand, we have no confirmation of how many seasons this is going to be. It feels like he's setting this up to be that many episodes, like a big long show. And it's like, how many seasons can you do of her learning about this alien thing or the virus or whatever? How many seasons before she saves the world? And then what do you do after that? Do you do 3 more seasons after she saves the world? Like, I don't really see where it's going. I'm still interested. I'm still invested, but I'm like, we got to have something big happen in this season, or it's feel like it's going to lose that interest, the hook that it's got on me.
I've been a little grumpy at the way they've talked about this show, how they're like, well, we don't want it to be like this one message because it would defeat the purpose of it. And I sit and I listen to those types of statements and I get frustrated because I'm like, you're clearly telling something. It's okay to lean into what you're saying. Stop being ambiguous to like be cheeky. I think the creators of this show are just kind of doing the mystery for the sake of mystery thing. And I think it's cute if you got cool payoff.
Mm-hmm.
It's obnoxious if you're really, really slow pacing with very little win. And right now I feel like the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
And I think it's at risk of losing me. There's a lot. You and I talked about this on the Patreon. Check out the Patreon. We'd love to keep the conversation going. there's a lot of things on TV and movies right now worth watching. I mean, Welcome to Derry's out there. I haven't started that yet. People are freaking out about that show. Stranger Things is a global phenomenon. I mean, there's some great stuff happening in sports right now. Like, there's a lot to do on TV and Netflix, even on Apple. There's like 6-7 other shows on Apple right now. So I'm ranting, excuse me. 7, 8, 6, 7, 7, 8. I just want to see payoff. Like, it's okay to tell me things slowly, but to do that in episode 5 was such a miss. And I think it was by far the worst episode of the series.
You said 3 things. What are the 3 things that you did? Was it 3 things you did?
No, I just said 3 things happened in the episode.
3 things happened in the episode.
They separated from her.
Right.
She found out about the milk. She found the carcass. And then 1B is also, they left the voicemail and they're ignoring her.
Right.
And it's just like, and the whole show to me is this great understanding of toxic relationships, of just like, Carol is this awful, awful person. And they're like trying their best to help her. And they've just set up a boundary. And it's also this great illustration, in my opinion, of if heaven was real to a non-believing individual who was an atheist, they still would not subscribe to it. Period. That's this show.
That's fair.
So I find those things funny, and I'm a little grumpy at the comments they're making about, oh, well, it's not just one thing. It could be a lot of things. I'm like, no, Severance is definitely talking about like 2 things. Like, they're talking about workplace balance, and they're talking about how you shouldn't work for the man. Like, it's pretty clear in the morning show what they're talking about. Stranger Things is clearly talking about it's clearly lined up. It's okay to talk about something. It's okay to have a stance.
You don't need to have this like ominous like this is a very highly intellectual show hanging over you. Like, you could just tell it like it is. Yeah.
Better Call Saul didn't do that.
No, right.
Neither did Breaking Bad. And they had a lot of commentary.
And we talked about this, I mean, in the other episode, like those first 2 episodes are phenomenal. Like, they are a good hook. They're a great hook. And they got us all watching it. And now it's like, I have to finish it out. Me and Mark were talking about, like, we're completionists, kind of. Like, even if a show is bad, I feel bad just like leaving it hanging. Like, I gotta finish that show. So I don't think this show is bad enough to where I would even consider stopping watching it or anything like that. Like, it's not bad, but it definitely is like those 3 episodes could easily have been condensed into 2 episodes easily.
Yeah, this is turning into an A24 movie that somebody recommended to me, and I was like, good idea. But then the director just decided to go not zigzag. They decided just to go square. Like, they picked
heck of doing it
just because they're edgy. And I just, I'm just trying to figure this whole thing out. And it's okay to have a mystery every week. And it's okay to add on to your mystery. And a lot of shows are doing that right now.
And I think it will have a good payoff. The storytelling is good. It's just taking longer than it should. That's all.
Yeah.
It'll be good. I'm pretty confident it'll work out in the end. I still have questions about like the future, like, of the show. Cause I think there's, let me look at the episode list here. Yeah. There's 9 episodes in this season. So what's the future of Pluribus? I don't really understand.
I do think the reveal will have, I'm hopeful the reveal will have this epiphany of, in order for them to stay in this stasis, they have to consume this. Otherwise they will lose that ability. And I do think the Please Carol line in episode 4 was the collective group asking for help. I do think it was all of them going, please save us. I do think that.
Save us. Okay.
Yeah. I think it was that.
Do you think underneath the like happy thing that they're all crying out for help?
It was like the Rick and Morty episode where Rick turns into a kid and he does the dance and the song and he's like, please, I'm asking for help. This is not a song. Like,
this is not a song.
Yeah. It's he looks great. Happy and jolly on the outside, but on the inside it's cold. And
that episode of Rick and Morty always reminded me of Spy Kids, like the original Spy Kids, where they're like going to Floop or whatever, and he's got the kids TV show and everything's happy and stuff, and then they play it backwards and he's like, Floop is a madman, help us, save us.
Yeah. By the way, nightmare fuel back in the day in the 90s.
Absolute nightmare.
There's some imagery in there that has messed people up since.
Terrifying. Yeah. Monk having like 4 heads and like 4 hands attached to each arm. Yeah. Monk.
Good pull.
Yep.
Good pull.
Yeah. Wild stuff. But anyways, that's what that one reminded me of. It's like, oh my gosh, this is wild. But yeah, I'm with you though. I'm still cautiously optimistic about the show itself. Just, man, it seems like it is dragging on a little bit. So maybe they'll pick up the pace now that we have this big reveal or whatever at the end of episode 5. We got the introduction of the guy in Belize or wherever that was, and he seems like an interesting character.
Yeah, he's literally her. He's a grump.
Yeah, grumps got to work together to save the world.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So far, overall, what are you rating it?
Oh, through 5 episodes. That's a good question. 4.25 out of 6. Strong start, but the last 3 episodes have really been hard on me. Like, I am bored watching this show. I am fully bored.
3 episodes, 3 and 4, and most of 5. I kind of
felt 5 was a snooze.
Like, I still appreciate like the things that she's doing, the things that she's finding out, but it was like, yeah, like you said, she drove to this factory, then she drove to a different factory to find out a slightly different thing. You know, it was just like, okay,
and
let's.
The way they're shooting it is not like you know when you watch Severance, there's like a lot in the background, or when you watch Stranger Things right now, there's all these clips, there's all these people, there's all these background things. There's nothing like that the way they're shooting this. It's 3 milk cartons.
There's nothing in the background because there's no people in those like.
No, there's nothing to like put there. So I think you can't build mythology without those things. You can't build mythology without the TV on having something said or the newspaper clipping.
I think that's what they're going for a little bit, but the fact that they've done it through 2 whole 45, 50-minute episodes is like, okay.
Yeah, right, I'm done. I'm done talking about it. I'm done. Move on. Let's get to the good stuff. The people are here to hear about it. The people are not here to hear us talk about Pluribus. They're here to hear us talk about Stranger Things. Let's talk about that.
I'm still higher on it than you. I think it's going to turn out to be a good show. I'd give it a 4.75 out of 6 at this point, though. It's got to start turning around, though, because I feel like we're halfway through already. And
if they botch this, Isaac, I'm gonna have a field day. I'm gonna have a field day.
Then we can all blame Max for getting us in on
I'll be so ticked off if they botch this one. This is just such too good of an idea. I hope they don't mess it up.
Oh yeah, the premise is fantastic. That's why it's so like disappointing that it's slowed down so much. All right, let's move on to something that we both really want to talk about. Stranger Things. Big things here. The Volume 1 just dropped on Thanksgiving. Was that a week ago? 2 weeks ago now? It's already 2 weeks ago. Crazy that it's been that long already. But 4 episodes, and they're all like nearly an hour long. Fantastic. After all this complaining that we've been doing on our podcast about how these Marvel miniseries are just getting, 20 to 30 minute episodes, just pour it all on me. Give me the hour and a half episodes. I'm 100% here for it. I'm not
completely agree. Anybody complaining that these episodes are 3 hours long and saying this isn't television, knock it off.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Give me more. Give it all to me. Marvel, take a cue. Marvel, take a cue.
Thank you.
Learn here, Marvel.
You need to take notes. And Netflix has a lot of hits and misses. They have a lot of misses. But Stranger Things, they are doing things perfectly, honestly. And
hold on. Whoa. That's a strong statement.
It is a strong statement. But the fact that this is an egregious thing, that they have taken 10 years to get this series out, and the fact that they still have the highest watched show, they still have people talking about it on socials 24/7. The fact that they still have people this invested in the show is showing that they are doing things the right way. We'll talk about it in a bit here, but back up a little bit, because I had talked on our previous episode about how I was going to try to do a rewatch of the whole show. And I was like kind of thinking, if I got to season 4 and didn't make it through it, that would be okay, because season 4 is obviously the freshest in my mind. I've never rewatched it. This is the first time I ever rewatched it. And I binged through that show in a whole freaking weekend, because I forgot how good Stranger Things is. Stranger Things is a phenomenal show, start to finish. And we'll talk a little bit about like the ups and downs and stuff like that. But holy moly, I rewatching it again was the best thing that I could have done leading up to season 5 to get me hyped for it. Rewatching season 4, dude, I was so ready for season 5 by the time I dropped. But again, I was not expecting to be able to make it through, but I was so invested in the whole season that I just binged the whole entire series. It's like, but at the end of this series, I hope we're talking about how this is in the conversation with like best TV shows of all time.
I think it is. I think it is. And these were my thoughts before these first 4 episodes, because I know we're going to talk about those separate. But I went with the backwards strategy. I did not rewatch, and I plan on rewatching the next 3 weeks if I can. Like, that's kind of my goal, simply for the fact of this show. I've watched it so many times now that I'm pretty familiar with it without having to watch things. But we've grown up with these characters, and what I tell people is, and we talked about this last time I was on the show, like it is egregious that it took 10 years. Some of those factors they couldn't control, COVID. But this is the Harry Potter of Gen Z. That's just what this is. And we're going to watch these characters grow up. In 20, 30 years, we're going to get some anthology series or some reboot of it. And yeah, this is already in the pantheon. I mean, this is Netflix's golden goose. So
big time, yeah.
I think there's no doubt it's like, if it has a Lost ending, for example, we talk about Lost a lot because that's one of my favorite shows. But if it has that type of ending, I think people will be fine with it. I think people will hate it, but they'll still talk highly of it. If it has a Sopranos ending where it's a little ambiguous, I think they'll be okay with it. But it has a lot of potential based on how this narrative is going, and we're going to talk about that shortly, for it to be a home run like Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, or MASH, or shows that just have had great endings. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what people think of it as it ends.
All right, so we're going to go into season 5 a little bit here. I want a non-spoiler 60-second recap of your thoughts of Stranger Things season 5, volume 1.
I think Stranger Things this season is the buildup we've been waiting for. I think the Duffer brothers are making some great choices. I think they're ignoring some things I wish they didn't ignore. And I think they're going for broke on it. And that is what I want from this season. So I'm encouraged by the pacing of the first 4 episodes. I had such a fun time watching it. I still can't stop thinking about it. I've loved consuming content about it. I think the first 4 episodes were worth the wait. I think the way they're setting it out is very intelligent and wise. I know a lot of people are like, we should do it weekly. Nope. I think volume finale is exactly what they should do. And I love it. I'm very optimistic. I'm going to get a 5.5 out of 6. I think there's some things I've got some issues with, but
wow,
I am very excited about this show. This is the hardest rating I've ever had to put together for coming on a show. I've bounced between 5 and 6 all week. But 5.5 is where I'm landing because I just think they're doing some cool things. There's some things they can clean up, but I think anybody who's watched Stranger Things or is like, oh, I watched the first 2 seasons. Is it worth it coming back? I've met a couple of those people. Yeah, I do. I think it's worth it. I think you'll be rewarded for your work.
Yeah, and I think there might be a lot of people that dropped off after season 2 because, in my opinion, season 2 is the least interesting season. It was still a good season,
which is crazy because I love season 2.
Right.
I think
it's not a diss on season 2. Season 2 is fantastic, but it's just that all the other seasons are just so stinking good.
Sure.
Season 2, by comparison, is my least favorite. Anyways, I'd still give it a high rating, but anyways, yeah.
What about you, Isaac? What about you?
Stranger Things season 5 is
volume 1.
Volume 1. I'm gonna clarify a little bit here. So, in my mind, Vecna is Stranger Things' Thanos to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We had Infinity War in season 4. Season 5 is Endgame. Like you said, they're pulling out all the stops for Endgame. They are building up to what is going to be an incredible, a very emotional finale. And the first half, this volume 1, definitely is heading in the right direction, especially with that last episode, Chef's Kiss. It was incredible. There are arguments to be made because a lot of people will argue that Infinity War is a better movie than Endgame. And I think there's validity to that it's a better movie, but Endgame played on the emotions so hard because of the culmination of the whole MCU. And I think season 5 of Stranger Things is going to do that as well. I think it is going to play on the emotions of everything that we've been through with these characters, with these relationships that they've built. And a lot of people are going to rate season 5 their highest ranked season or whatever because of that, because of the just raw emotion, the crazy stuff that's going to be happening. I have faith that the Duffer brothers are going to close this out well. And volume 1 definitely is nothing to dissuade me from that opinion. I think there were definitely things that I have qualms about, but all of those things that I have qualms about were of so little importance that it didn't really faze me when I was watching these first 4 episodes. So I think volume 1 is a 6 out of 6. I think it's amazing. I loved it very much. The first episode was incredible. There are a little bit of slow parts in the second, third episodes, but man, episode 4 was a big, huge payoff. And like you mentioned, so I was on the board of like, why aren't they doing this weekly? I think now that I have seen volume 1, they made the right choice.
100%.
Yeah, of doing volume 1, the first 4 episodes, volume 2, the 3 episodes, and then finale is going to be in theaters, which is incredible. Like there's literally, I've looked up showtimes near us. There's a bunch in Minneapolis area.
Right.
The problem is I work on New Year's, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to a theater for it, but I would love to. Oh man, I would love to go. It would be so much fun to see that in theaters. But I think they are building to an incredible finale. And like I said, I mean, they're technically season 4 or, any other season that you might pick, because all of these seasons are so good, might be better than this season in the long run. But this season is the emotion of the culmination of this show. I'm all in for the ride. I think it's going to be incredible. And volume 1 was fantastic. So
spoilers. Let's talk spoilers. Let's get to
Spoiler warning. Here you go.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
There it is. Okay, we got the spoiler warning.
Okay, let's go episode by episode. One I hated in episode 1, and it was off to a bad start. I got a little grumpy. I didn't like how they kind of brushed over the huge gaping holes on the ground.
There's a lot of people that have had problems with that.
I immediately saw it. I was like, we just covered it up with metal? We got kids sliding down it? I was like, this is ridiculous.
I will admit that and the whole military aspect of season 4 and 5 is probably the weakest part of all of this show.
Well, and I'm going to take a bold take here. I think this is Dustin's weakest season already. It's not even close. I think Dustin is a miss right now. And I think him like trying to honor Eddie and be this kind of rebel and this grumpy kid, it's just not hitting. It makes sense to me why they're doing it. Like they're not doing something like out of character. I've seen some people say, oh, it's out of character. No, it's not out of character, but it's annoying and it's dumb. And so I'm really hopeful he changes his tune and comes back to good old Dusty Buns.
Oh, he will. He will.
I think he will. I think he will too. So that's why I'm like, it's just annoying.
Disagree with you on that. I think I agree with you that I think they are doing this for a specific reason. It's not out of character for him. He's grieving, the loss of his mentor at the end of season 4. And so that's why he's doing it. And you're right. He is annoying. He is making stupid decisions. But I think that's a great character arc for him, because every season up till now, we have loved him and he's the perfect kid in all of these 4 seasons. So I kind of love this character arc for him. If they don't redeem him, I will be very upset. He will be redeemed.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guarantee that one. If he comes around and he realizes that he should be who he has been all along, boom, that's a great character arc for him, and I'm 100% fine with that. So push back on that a little bit. I do get what you're saying though, because he is annoying and he's being stupid. So I get it.
But like with episode 1, I really loved Holly. It was so clear and obvious when she's reading. Well, to me, The Wrinkle in Time is one of my favorite books when I was growing up as a kid. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, she is clearly getting captured in episode 2. I was like, say no more.
Right.
I was just like, this is great. Slam dunk. We know who it is now. And then sure enough, the next episode it came through. And I just love what they're doing with her. I love her introduction. I love that they made a little character for her. I just think Holly Wheeler and all the crap she's been through, and they've kind of set it up really slowly in the background with her. I think she's a great addition. I love that they got right to it. They weren't just they're like on offense the whole time. They're doing the crawls. I know people were dogging 11 and all of her training stuff and whatever. It's dumb.
I love a good training montage. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
But it's like she's dressed like is it Rambo, or like she's dressed like somebody from the 90s?
She's dressed like there's a character in the Goonies that has like almost
Goonies, that's what
exact same outfit. And yeah, it's like, is this the 80s people? I don't know why people are complaining about that. Like, who cares?
Yeah, but exactly I loved that, and I loved the sequence where they captured Holly and how the panic on their face.
Yeah,
that Ted got just absolutely. I thought they were dead. I thought they were dead, Isaac.
Okay, yes, I thought for sure he was dead too. I don't even know why they bother mentioning that he's still alive, because the kids don't care. The kids don't care that he's alive. They didn't go see him.
I saw one meme that was hilarious. It said, even if you were a mom, like you just got attacked by a Demogorgon, the first thing your kids are going to say is going to be a request.
That's so
I'm like, that's so spot on, right? So that's I think those 2 episodes are great. Chapter 3, the Turnbow Trap, like so sick, so cool how just like they set up the Home Alone stuff. Like it had such a Home Alone vibe, and the introduction of Derek, that character, was so cool and neat. Yeah, I just love the first 3 episodes. Like they were all about offense. They're all about going after Vecna. And the whole time you're like, what's he doing? The upside down stuff with Elle and Hopper, and how they're trying to figure out what they're doing with the army. I just loved all of it. And there's so much to break down. We can't break down all of it, but they're in the upside down. They're not putzing around getting to the upside down. And I like that. I like that about this season.
Right. Especially since like season 4, we got more upside down. You know, we had, the crew, Steve, Robin, Nancy, and Eddie, like going into the upside down, going to like Vecna's house, all that stuff. Like I like how we've got more and more experience. Sure. And now it's like, bam, we're like fully in. It just makes sense.
No, I liked all that. And I just enjoy this setup for episode 4, which I think is the thing we're going to talk about the most, right? And the payoff of what episode 4 is, the payoff dating back to the first season when 11 looks at the sorcerer on the board for D&D and says Will, and he makes this transformation, Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White.
Oh gosh,
that's Will the Wise to Will the Sorcerer, right? Like I just think it's a really great metamorphosis for his character. I think the conversations with Robin were on the nose with the sexuality stuff, but also it's not about the sexuality, which I appreciated. And it's about all the scenes. Right. If you go back to season 2, when he's being interrogated by his brother, by Mike, by his mom, are the scenes referenced in the flashback.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's what the Duffers do that sets them apart. And that's what makes me okay with 10 years of waiting. That's what makes it okay for me, is those payoffs.
Right. You have to have a big payoff to have waited this long.
And Vecna getting introduced Rogue One style, which just so clearly Darth Vader. So it's like Vecna is joining this pantheon of all-time villains before our eyes.
His upgrade from season 4 to 5 is legendary, because I remember talking about season 4 with Robbie, and like, he is still a threatening villain in season 4. And really it's not the physical stuff that makes him threatening. It's like all of the psychological mind stuff that he's doing. But like, there's that scene in probably my favorite episode of Stranger Things in season 4, Dear Billy.
Yeah.
It's the one where Max is, getting attacked by Vecna, and she runs out to the song, and there's a point where she looks back at him and he's just standing there like this, and he literally looks like the Grinch from like the Jim Carrey Grinch Stole
Sure.
Christmas. He's got like a little pop belly. He's just like standing there watching her. Physically, he was not that threatening, and this season they gave him an upgrade. They were like, yeah, you're gonna be insane this season. So comes up with just like his Groot armor, spears a guy through the head right off the bat. You're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. He is gonna be incredibly,
he's an all-timer.
Yeah,
he's just becoming an all-timer. And I think Volume 2, I know they've talked about how they're going to try to set him up with more of a backstory as to why he is the way he is. Like, we have obviously we've discovered his inception point, right? But we're going to see more, right? We're going to learn more about him. And like I said, it's like the Gen Z Harry Potter thing. This is the Voldemort of it. It's like it's so clear. It's so. And I was talking with someone about Stranger Things a couple days ago, and they said this show references so many things that it doesn't make it bad. It references the right things, right? You know, when something over references something, it's not this issue of, oh, they don't have originality. It's this, no, they've taken so many different inspirations to put this together. And I think that's just what the Duffer Brothers are doing. And I am such a fan of their work. I think very highly of them. And I think the two big things people that are going to stick out in this is Holly's world that she's in, which is in Vecna's mind, which is the opposite of what Will went through. Mm-hmm. It's like this joyful, jolly place. And then Max lives there.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I loved that Max was there because Max is one of my favorite characters from season 4. I love that we had 11 saving her life at the end of that season, and then she's still gone. Like we get that clip in the end of season 4 where 11 is like searching for her in her mind, and she's gone. She's not in her mind. And the fact that the reason why we couldn't see that is because she is stuck in Vecna's mind. Actually love that. That's great. She's definitely going to find a way out and, join the fight in volume 2. Holly was another interesting aspect of that. And I still I'm definitely loving her more the more we see of her. But initially I was like, okay, this is like neither here nor there, by the way, but like she's supposed to be 7 years old. She's like 15 or something like that. Like she's definitely on the older side. And that has not bothered me at all throughout the whole season with her or any of the other actors, by the way. I don't care that they're 21 to 25 plus. This season of television is so good that you can tell any story you want with these guys. And I will fully believe that they're in high school. I don't care. But anyways, that was my first thing. Second thing about her is that she fully trusts Vecna, which as a 7-year-old, you would. But then all of a sudden Max shows up and she does take a little bit of convincing. But my initial thought was, man, she seems very easily convinced by Max, even though Henry has been her one and only like source of information, like source of everything in this world. Something seems a little off about that to me. And I don't know. I still don't think there's anything sinister necessarily about that. Yeah. I do think that she actually believes Max, but something about that. And then that cave too, that they are hiding in, the memory where Max runs away from Henry and he comes to the cave, but he is so terrified that he doesn't follow her in. That is very intriguing to me.
Yeah, that's a fun twist to put in this.
I'm really interested to see what happens in that cave, that he's so scared that he is not going to follow them in there. Like he knows that Max is in this world too. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to me too that he leaves Holly alone. I don't know. There's a lot of things about that world that aren't adding up to me yet. And I think it will add up, when we get the other parts of the equation in volume 2. But I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that. It was still really cool. I loved everything about it. Also, 7-year-old Holly baking cakes by herself in a house. Probably not going to happen. My 7-year-old.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Even help my wife or myself with baking or cooking. So no, that's not going to happen.
Well, you know what else? Will Byers' reveal of being the sorcerer now changes the whole landscape of it now, because and we'll get to the 12 kids taken captive, right? Like,
yeah,
there's this, you have that happen, but then you get 8 also, right? So you get 8, you get Will turning into sorcerer. Like you got so many things happening in that last 20 minutes of episode 4. And to culminate in Will having Vecna's eyes and him just saving all his friends. I was sitting there, I was like, his friends are dead. I was like, they're all dead.
Yeah.
They're going to kill all of them.
Bro, when he started doing that, it was legitimately a Captain America Mjolnir moment for me. Like, I was like, my heart was thumping. I was breathing hard. Like, that was insane. That was
Couldn't believe they were doing it. You know what's funny? The Will thing tracked for me. It tracked. It was like, yeah, that makes sense. That
makes total sense. I love how they did that. Yeah, that was amazing.
It made a lot of sense. And to me, it was 8. It was when 8 was revealed, right before Will was revealed. It's like, okay, now the hand has been changed. Now Vecna has there are competitors against him on top of just
okay. Here's the thing. So when that reveal happened with 8, I had mentioned in our previous episode how disappointing that episode is in season 2, and that's why season 2 is probably my least favorite season. Still a great season, by the way. Mind Flayer, great villain. Season 2 is great.
The Mind Flayer is the Emperor. The Mind Flayer is the Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
And I think Vecna is the Darth Vader. This whole memory thing, and we'll get to that in a sec. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. But like, I think there's a Mind Flayer Vecna thing here. There's something there.
I'm with you. I'm on that board too. But 8. So that episode, weak. It's a weak episode. It really has no bearing on the entire series until now. All of a sudden, they're like, holy crap, like, actually, she's here. I am glad. I have mixed feelings about her being the one because, number one, I'm glad that that's not a wasted episode now. Because if they had just forgotten about her and not mentioned it at all, why even have that episode in season 2? It doesn't matter at all. I'm glad about it, and I'm glad about another thing. They were thinking that it was Vecna in there somehow. And the twist that it's not Vecna, it's actually somebody who might be able to help us. That's a cool twist. I was really excited about that.
Did you think Vecna was in there?
I didn't think Vecna was in there, but I didn't know what else could be in there. So I was kind of like thinking maybe it is. Like, it doesn't make sense that it'd be Vecna because he's obviously active and like doing stuff outside of there. And he's way too strong for the military to like, take control of him or whatever. So.
General K having 8 in there in the Upside Down makes her character way more sinister.
Yeah.
Going into volume 2.
Yeah.
Right. Like true. That character is way scarier. To me, it felt pretty obvious that it was 8. And I'm okay with that. Like, I just was like, and we talked about this last time on that episode. Like, I was like, I think 8 comes back. Like, I don't think you can not have that character. I don't think you could write that off. And it's like an Endgame where they go to get the Reality Stone. And they have to get it from Thor: The Dark World. And you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go back and watch it. You know what? It's not that bad now. It's not that bad now.
Right.
I think that's what's going to happen with that episode.
It was just like in the course of the season, it really threw off the pacing of that season. Was that episode because it was so out of place and stuff like that.
It shows that they had a plan. Like it really does show how brilliant.
Oh yeah, no. This is not the fact that the Duffer brothers brought her back is like you said. I mean, I'm glad. I'm relieved because that is not a wasted episode anymore. Like the rest of the show, I already thought season 2 is solid and good despite that episode. But now it makes sense. I'm more forgiving. I still think it's probably my least favorite episode of the series, but it makes sense now and I'm okay with it.
Okay, so then my next question is, what do you think of this time travel stuff? What is the 12 kids time travel thing? Like, what is he doing? Because to me, I was joking with somebody. I was like, this is what these sci-fi shows do. They have 5 great seasons and they can't help themselves but do a time travel thing. Like spoilers for the show From, but they're doing that in From too. Like From's doing the same thing. So like I'm just like, oh my gosh, we don't have to be this way, guys. Like
it's a sci-fi trope, man.
It just is, and they're leaning into it, and it's fine. But like, does this whole thing end? Like, how does this end? Like, is Vecna gonna turn the clock back and then
why? My thought is he's got to turn, and this is like complete speculation. I don't think this is a solid theory at all, but I think he's got to go back in time to get something, restart something. He's got to go back in time to do something. I don't know what that thing is yet. So obviously this theory is like not complete or anything like that, but that's my theory because that's the only thing I can even think of at this point.
Right.
I'm on the same line of you as like everything's been great so far, and it seems like that's kind of out of place to go back in time?
The
Like, we've
time
been going
travel
back in
thing
time in
is
memories.
yeah. So I
but-
talked about ticky tack. I think that's my thing right now. I'm like, if you don't do that, and in their defense, season 4 they were talking about it in season 4 when he's
Sure.
talking to 11 when it's revealed that it's Henry Creel 1. He's talking about time. He's saying minutes, seconds, like that
Right.
monologue is
Right.
talking
The
about
clocks, like the clocks, the time is a big theme.
yeah.
In season 4.
Why is he killing him? It's like that's the point. So
Right.
I'll just be interested to see how they take that angle. Yeah, I think that could make this ending of the show have some pickles. But I don't care. Like I'm with you. I'm so hyped. The will reveal was so cool. It was done correctly. They could have written it in some other ways. They could have made it more corny and cheesy. They didn't.
Well, and we had talked previously because like season 4, they set up this like Will Forbidden Love thing with Mike, and we had talked previously about how man, if they lean into that, I really don't think it's gonna have a good ending. And the fact that Robin used her experience to basically tell Will like, hey, like you're you. It doesn't matter what Mike thinks of you. You be you.
Yeah.
You do your thing. I love that they turned it into that instead of like, oh, I can't have Mike. Man, that could have dragged on.
Yeah, Nora Schnapp's portrayal in season 4 was awful, and it was shocking because
and Finn Wolfhard in season 4,
yeah,
both
they
of
were
them.
both.
Oh,
they were
insufferable in season 4.
Honestly, it's probably writing. It's probably writing and direction. I don't know.
No, it's not writing. They're written to be insufferable. They are insufferable characters in season 4, and I hate it. It's rough.
Noah Schnapp in seasons 1 and 2 was. Season 2 was putting on a clinic.
Season 2 is probably his best. And well, I mean, this obviously potentially could be a rival of season 2, but season 2, he is phenomenal in season 2. Season 1, he's like not even in half the season because he's taken by Vecna. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, all of the actresses are pulling up. I will say, like I said earlier, the military storyline's probably the least interesting and weakest part to me. I hate to say it, but I think what's her face, the general, what's her name again?
Dr. K.
Or
General K or whatever her name is.
Yeah. She feels like she's phoning it in a little bit as in acting wise. I think I agree with you that the fact that she has 8 does make her more sinister, but the fact that they set up Sullivan last season and now he's just like a stooge to her, that just was like, okay, all right, whatever. That just kind of played into the weak military story.
The military is just being the military trope, and they're always going to be that. And there's just not enough time to clean it up at this point.
Right. And that's fine. All of the other stuff is so good that I don't care. Like I don't have enough time to invest in how bad that part is because everything else is so good. So it is what it is. And I don't want to dwell on that. So
I do have one theory around the time travel thing. I think the 12 kids, well, 12 disciples too, by the way, like it's just, it's very like everything's upside down in this show. Like,
everything's upside down.
Well, that's intentional, right? Like they have all these intentional upside down tropes.
Right.
I'm just more so saying it's taking the 12 disciples and turning that on its head, right? It's using these kids 12 hands, numbers on a clock. I do think that the time travel thing, I think we are going to go back in time. I think they're going to do it. And I think they previewed that in episode 1. I think that was what the first episode of the season is. It would not surprise me if that episode was from the time travel. Like that's what I'm like. That's kind of my big theory. My big theory is because of the way they found Will, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't actually do any of that stuff, but he did it after Vecna time traveled to find him. And because Vecna knew that Will became this different person, he became this person who could kill all of his creatures and things. So I think that is actually a scene back in time. That's my big theory on that.
I don't know though, because he's already building all this stuff, right? Like he's taking the kids, whatever, he's building all this stuff. In that episode, in episode 4, he goes to Will and he basically is like, you're nothing. Like he lets him go. If he knew that, and if he was planning to go back in time to do this to him, why would he let him go in that moment?
I don't know. I just that's my crackpot theory.
We don't have Mark. We don't have Mark to give us a crackpot theory about
Mark
what,
would be in
what
the
this
weeds
time
with me.
travel
Mark
is
would be
for.
like, God, and then they're aliens and all this stuff too. We'd say all this stuff too if Mark was here.
And then the demons that
yeah,
were worshiping
actually,
Baal, they came, went through the portal. And
actually, I think it's all a dream. I think they're in a snow globe.
on that note, I've heard a lot of theories on threads about how at the end of the series, it's all going to be Mike playing a D&D game.
No,
this was
it
all
won't
the
be that.
D&D game.
It won't be that.
I was like, as soon as I saw the first time that theory popped up, I was like, that better not be the case because I will be pissed.
The other thing I'll be ticked about, and you said this earlier, if they do some okey doke Will and Mike relationship, that is going to be insufferable. That would be insufferable.
That would be insufferable because he just gave it up. And because like the Mike and 11 thing has been the central focus of like several seasons of this show.
Yeah.
If they just let 11 die and then Mike and Will get to be together, that would be annoying.
Who you think dies at the end of this?
It's got to be Will. It's got to be Will. Like he's got powers now. It makes sense that he would be the one to like make the sacrifice to like kill Vecna. I feel
he loves Mike.
Because he loves Mike.
No, seriously, that's like that's
because he loves everybody and he's accepted himself. That's why. But yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, okay. Who else dies? I had this theory on TikTok though, because like we have this love triangle thing between Steve and Nancy and what's his face by other buyers. One of those guys has got to die, right? Like somebody's going to end up with Nancy. It's probably going to be Steve.
Yeah, I think Steve better end up with Nancy. I want to be very clear. I want him to end up
with Nancy too, but like
Jonathan. Okay,
that's
I think Jonathan is going to have whatever that Vecna stuff does. He's going to do that stuff to Nancy. Remember where he makes him like floats him up, and then the thing that happened to Max. He's going to do that again to Nancy, and then Steve is going to open the cassette, thinking that it's her favorite song, and he's going to see the ring, and that's going to cause a huge conflict. And then I think that's where one of them sacrifices for the other one. That's.
I like that theory.
I've read a lot of theories about I read one theory that was kind of like Nancy would see it and then Jonathan would die, where I'm more in the camp of like, no, I think Jonathan and Steve are going to try to save Nancy. And instead of them competing to look better, it's going to be a true, no, we gotta stack hands. And it's going to be that realization.
Yeah.
That cassette is going to play a huge role. They zoomed in on it. It's a huge scene. That cassette's going to be big.
Or maybe Nancy dies and Steve and Jonathan end up together.
Yeah.
Maybe that. I don't know. I love that though, because that's a nice little, that's what the Duffer brothers do. They put those little details in there and then they make them important later on, So like that would be a cool nod to the like little cassette tape that he closed at the ring. That would be sweet. I actually really love that. I would be so sad if they killed off Steve, but honestly, I think that's a real possibility that they kill off Steve. So
yeah, I mean, he's loved, man. He is beloved. Yeah. I think Murray is a dead man.
Oh, Murray's dead for sure.
He's a dead man for sure, and he's by far top 5 character in this show to me.
Love Murray. He's great.
I do not think it would surprise me if Hopper died, but it wouldn't surprise me if 11 died to save Hopper.
That's another good one. Yep, one of those two might die to save each
other.
other.
There's a lot of deaths. And then I've heard a couple people say, is this going to be a Lord of the Rings thing? Nobody dies because they're all beloved. And I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think there is a good possibility and a good way to let them all live too. I think there is a possibility that it's like a happy ending and everybody lives. I think there's more impact if people
Does Max live?
Ooh, yeah, I think she lives because technically, and here I talked about this on social media too. Like Max and Hopper both have kind of already died in the show, so I feel like they're not going to pull that again with both of them dying. I feel like 11 is more likely to die than Hopper because he's already been that sacrificial guy and tried to sacrifice himself. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they might not pull that again, but we'll see. I think it's still possible. He could, but my gut says that I think Hopper and Max both survive.
Yeah, we'll see.
Did you already say you already rated it, right? You already rated it 5.5. I gave
5.5. 5.5 because there's some
so good.
Dusty Bun sucks.
You are
weakest part of the season.
You're hung up on that.
Close. Oh, I think it was egregious.
I think it's a perfect way to do it. I think they maybe overdid it a little bit, but I think it is an acceptable arc for his character. So I'm okay with it. I think they should have started him on the path of redemption already, though. They're dragging it on longer than I would like to see, but we'll see. I'm 99.9% sure that he will realize that he was better as himself than he is in the state that he's in. So we'll see what happens.
He will, but it's annoying.
He will. Yeah, he will. Oh, last, we didn't even mention him, but Derek. I love Derek in the same way. Oh, he's overrated for sure.
Yeah, people are like, oh, he's great. I'm like, he's fine.
I love him in the same way that I loved Eddie in season 4.
No,
he's annoying. He's annoying at first, and then he turns around and everybody loves him.
Oh no, Eddie is a gem. Eddie is an all-timer.
I love Eddie. Oh yeah, no, he's not on that level. I was just comparing the turn.
Okay,
of like everybody hated him when he introduced, and then now everybody loves him. I agree with you. I think he's overrated. Eddie's a far superior character than Derek.
My crackpot theory around Derek was he was made to be a meme, and that Netflix has been planting memes about him all over the internet to get people talking about this.
I fully agree with that theory.
I don't believe anybody is really actually sitting around going like, yeah, Derek's the real deal. Like, let's
he's the best.
Let's make content about Derek. Like I've seen so many things of that guy.
The only guy that I've seen go hardcore on Derek content is one of our mutuals who is named Derek. So I feel like that gives you a pass.
That's different.
His name is Derek.
Yeah, that's fine.
But,
that's fun.
He's one of those characters that they just threw in. And also, by the way, I think it's the end of episode 3 is the Derek episode, the Turnbow. What do they call it? The Turnbow Trap.
The Turnbow Trap.
They don't even show his whole family in the shed again. They just leave. Leave him there to wake up or something. And they destroyed his house in Home Alone style. Like they just absolutely shredded it. And the parents are going to go back and be like, what has happened to our house? I suppose that's preferable to him being taken by an evil demigorgon. But I don't know. I thought that was funny that they just were like,
You got 21 days to rewatch this bad boy, Isaac.
I think I might rewatch this volume. I'm fully confident in my previous rewatch of the entire show, but I probably will rewatch this season 5, volume 1 again before season or volume 2 comes out. For sure. Okay. Volume 2 comes out on Christmas, and then Volume 3 or the finale comes out on New Year's. So,
all in, can't wait. New Year's is going to be, and that'll be like what, an hour and a half. That'll be a.
Yeah, I think they already revealed the run times, and it's at least 2 hours. I think it's
have to get off the internet that night.
Yep. You know what's crazy though? So in my rewatch, season 4 was just a banger of a season. Like it was really hard to not watch season 4 consecutively. But the finale of season 4 is 2 hours and 22 minutes long. It's a so full freaking length movie.
It's such a good episode.
It's a great episode.
It's such a good episode.
I wanted to watch it so bad that I started the episode at 1 a.m. Yeah. And I finished it. So yeah, it's worth it. It was worth it. That episode is so good. Season 4 is.
Before we go,
you're going to say the same thing I was going to say. How do you rate the seasons, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The seasons, in my opinion,
are you including season 5 or not?
No,
yet?
I'm not. No, season 5 still that's still in the oven. Looks good, but we'll see. Because it could be bad.
It's cooking though. It's cooking.
I believe it's cooking, but it could be bad. And if anyone in the show is going to rate a bad season, it's going to be me.
It will be you, for sure.
If anyone's going to hate the end of the season, it's me. That's how this works.
It will be.
That's how it works on the show. I'm going to say season 1 is my favorite because I don't think you can beat the originality of it.
Yeah.
Season 4 is my second favorite. Season 3 is my third favorite. Season 2 is my fourth. I think all 4 are over 5 ratings. Season 1's a 6 out of 6. I think season 4 and 3 are high 5s. I'd have to sit and think about it more, but yeah. What about you? What do you rank?
Okay. So the rating I gave on socials after my rewatch was season 2 in last at 4, season 1 in 3, season 3 at 2, and season 4 at 1. But I will tell you, season 4, 3, and 1 are all interchangeable for me, honestly. Like they're all so good.
And I love hard to pick. I love season 2. I defend season 2 often.
No, I didn't. So like, and you gave those rankings or whatever. Like seasons 4, 3, and 1 are all 6s to me. Season 2 is at least a 5.5, probably higher than that for me. Like it's still really good. It's not like it's a bad episode or a season of television or anything. It's still far superior to most seasons of television out there.
Sure.
But it just was like, if I'm ranking them, I gotta rank that one last. But I am a very hard proponent of season 3. I love the like mall, the 80s vibes, like summer vibes stuff of that season.
Yeah.
And then the finale where Dustin sings the Never Ending Story song with Susie. Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And what they do so well in seasons 3 and 4 is they have 2 or 3 separate storylines that don't interact at all. And then they wrap them all together perfectly in the last 2 episodes of the season. I love that about this show. It's so stinking good. And we got that, a little bit through this one, but they definitely set this up to be like a mid-season finale. And I love it for that. Like, this is it. They're pulling all the stops out. Might as well go all in.
We got time travel finally. It's not a good
you
sign.
Pull out the time travel for the final season. Exactly.
If we don't get a time travel playing greatest hits in the final volume, what are we doing? We're gonna de-age all the kids that we had 10 years ago. De-age them on the lot. It's gonna be crazy.
And we had Back to the Future playing in season 3.
They were referencing Back to the Future left and right in this movie. The flux capacitor line. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah.
Isn't the flux capacitor Doctor Who? I thought this was a Doctor Who thing.
No, flux capacitor is Back to the Future.
I thought for sure it was a Doctor Who thing.
Nope, it is Back to the Future.
All right. Well,
I don't know much about Doctor Who, but I can tell you it is Back to the Future. And that's how I know it's Back to the Future, because the flux capacitor. 1.21 gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts.
Those are ones I need to go back and rewatch now too, because we're going to get time travel.
There's Zemeckis. Talked about that in Patreon.
Max, thanks for joining me, man. It's been a blast.
Dude, thank you. Thank you for doing this. This was awesome.
This is the stuff that we love to do. We love to hear your opinions as well. So hit us up on socials, Infinity Bros Podcast, or you can email us at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear what you think about Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1, and what you think is going to happen. Tell us what you think about the finale. If we're going to get some time travel in there, what Vecna is up to. We'd love to hear from you. So wherever you're listening, however you're listening, thank you so much for making us a part of your podcasting experience. We live at 3000. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at The Infinity Bros. You can also check out our website at theinfinitybros.com for links, reviews, and sweet merch. Feel free to send us listener feedback via social media or email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.